Can you think like a pro? Rocket League pros are a cut above the rest, even SSLs. As you can see, pro MMR towards the end of a season sits around 2,200 plus, a staggering 340 MMR above SSL. And we're going to see if we share the same brains as they do. If you're interested in getting your replays analyzed, please read my pinned comment below. Okay, so let's take a look at clip number one. We have Vitera, who is playing defense as last man, and the opponent is going up the air. The question is simply, how do you position and defend this shot? All right, so let's take a look at what Vitera does. All right, so let's take it back. So it becomes quite clear that Vitera, he goes up to position backboard and makes an easy clear. This is correct, but the question is, why is it correct? The reason why we play backboard is because you want to be at the same height level of the opponent when you challenge. And this is easily done when you position backboard. And the reason why you want to be at the same level of height as the opponent is because it minimizes the angle of approach and maximizes your control over the challenge. If we were to challenge from the ground, as you can see in this example, it becomes really awkward and difficult, and this is due to a number of reasons. Number one is increased travel time. Ascending to the height of the ball from the ground naturally takes a lot longer than if you were to position backboard. Number two, the risk of being beaten. The speed of the ball by the aerialing opponent can catch you out with how quickly the ball can travel. And number three, less control and stability. If you need to make any kind of quick mid-air adjustments, this tends to be a lot more difficult to do when coming off the ground. So yeah, if you got it correct, well done. Let's move on to clip number two. All right, so we have clip number two here. We have Zen this time who attempts to bump but misses, and now he's trying to rotate back. The question for this one is, what would you be thinking of doing here? Let's see what Zen does here. We can see that Zen cuts rotation and challenges the ball carrier. This is the best possible answer and decision. Why? The biggest reason why we know to cut rotation here and challenge is because mate is in a shadow position. The general rule, if you're rotating back and you're close to the play and your mate is in a shadow position, is you want to cut rotation to help them out. If you don't do that, as in this example, it gives the opponent an opportunity to outplay your mate, which can result in a goal. And even if you do get back and you clear the ball if your mate gets beat, then the opponent's second man will just get a free ball. Let me know in the comments if you got that one correct. If so, good job. Let's move on to clip number three. Okay, so clip three, we have Atao this time. In this clip, Atao pops the ball really high to backboard and he knows it's awkward for the opponents. However, he also knows that he's low on boost too. The question for this is, what would you do in this situation? Once again, let's take a look at what Atao does first. Alright, so this decision to demo Matt might have surprised some of you, but I think it's a smart play. If we go back, we can see that Atao is low boost, and he also knows that Vitera has taken mid boost. This means that Vitera will be in the play, and Atao wants to utilize that. With that knowledge, Atao knows that he can't go for the ball because, as we learned in the first clip, he's not at the same level height as the opponent on backboard, meaning it's difficult to get anything on the ball. Therefore, he opts to demo Matt because he knows the backboard opponent will clear the ball away and Vitira is ready to pick it up, leaving a potential open net for a goal. If we were to go for the ball instead, as in this example, you will see that it's difficult. And when Vitira gets the ball, Matt will still be in the play and ready to challenge Vitira. The lesson we learn is that many lower ranks tend to play twos individualistically and don't necessarily make decisions that exploits the strength of your mate's position and readiness. Also, we learn that we sometimes have to accept that the opponent has a better chance to get the ball than you do, and you must adjust and act accordingly to that. All right, moving on to clip number 4, we have the golden boy himself, First Killer. In this clip, we can see that First Killer drives up the opponent's backboard and the ball is high and pretty awkward. The question for this is simply, what kind of decision do you make in this very position? Similar to the others, let's take a look at what First Killer does here. Okay, so we can see that Face Killer decides to opt for a solo mechanical play here. Now, it's very easy to say this is the correct play. However, that wouldn't be fair because not everyone is able to pull off that type of mechanical play from this position. However, that's not what we want to take away from this clip. The point of this clip is to ensure that you don't answer with I probably would pass the ball out to mate. This would often lead to a bad result. Why? The reason why you don't pass the ball out from this position is because we can see that both opponents are somewhat in net. This means that at least one of them is going to be ready for you to pass the ball out since it's the most natural thing to do since the ball is really awkward. This is very risky since your mate will be under a lot of pressure to win the ball that you pass to because if he does get beat, it's an open net. However, if the opponent's first man misses and gets beat, then at least they still have their second man back in net to save the shot. Probability is against you here. The lesson we learn is that in twos, you should often avoid passing to mate when two opponents are back in a defensive setup since it's easy to intercept the pass. But passing in a 2v1 situation is almost always good to do. So, this leaves us with one question. What should you do here if you don't have the mechanics of Face Killer? This is difficult to answer because the position itself is quite awkward, and since we established that you don't want to pass down to mate, I would suggest to let the ball drop and turn your car away back to the corner. This option does concede possession, but you'll still have plenty boost to challenge, recover, or apply pressure again really quickly, especially since mate will be waiting on the ground. All in all, it'll definitely be less risky than to pass. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one.